Robot vacuums like this one are sold on the idea that you press a button, you walk away and you come back to perfectly clean floors. But the reality is usually very different. So in this video I've been properly living with the Eufy G50. I've tested it on hard floors, rugs, fully carpeted rooms upstairs, in the kitchen, around furniture, with pets, with leaves in the summer house, and even against one of Eufy's own marketing claims. This isn't a first impressions video, and this isn't based around specs or based around hype. It's real world testing to show you exactly what this vacuum can do, and more importantly what it can't do. If you're considering buying a robotic vacuum cleaner and you want to know whether this hands-off style of cleaning will work in your home, then make sure to watch to the end. Starting right at the beginning, taking the vacuum out of the box, there isn't really much to it, which I actually like. In the box you've got the robot vacuum itself, the charging station and a small detangling brush, and that's it. There's no paper instruction manual at all, everything is handled through the app. You scan the QR code, download the app, peel off the protective stickers, connect it to the Wi-Fi, and you'll talk through everything step by step. It's very easy to follow and feels logical, and nothing feels hidden or confusing. The next thing you have to think about is where the charging station is going to live, because this will be the vacuum's home. It has to go on a hard floor because you can't really put it on carpet. And there's a sticky pad on the base designed to stick it to the floor. I've got mine tucked in under the TV cabinet and it blends in really well. The vacuum itself looks modern and it doesn't feel out of place in the room. The whole setup process with this vacuum, setting it up with the app, is really quick. But the one thing that I was expecting it to do, which it didn't, was to tell you what to do as the first thing, what to do next once it's set up. I was expecting some kind of room identification or mapping or the first steps, but none of that happened, and there's no mapping phase at all. The positive side to that though is that you just simply press clean and watch it go, and it just gets on with it. You can choose between two cleaning modes, one which zigzags and is more linear and one which is more random. And you can also tell it whether your space is mostly hard floor or mostly carpet. And our space downstairs is mostly hard floor, with the exception of a big rug in the middle and then a couple of mats by the back door and front door. So I just selected hard floor and let it get on with it. I deliberately didn't prep the room either, which you are meant to do, so there was a lot more clutter than normal, but I wanted to see what this vacuum could handle in a more extreme sort of chaotic scenario. And at first I also kept the door shut so it stayed within that one room. And it actually stood up to the challenge. It handled quite a lot. It went underneath the curtains without any issues. And the brush is much smaller than a traditional vacuum, so there's no risk of the curtains getting sucked up inside. And it didn't confuse the sensors either. It did climb onto one of the chair legs at one point. It briefly mounted itself onto it, but it did manage to get itself off again without me having to intervene. And also our rug is fairly thick with a noticeable lip, and it managed to get on and off that without any problems at all. One thing that is worth being aware of though is thinner materials. If you've got thin materials, loose fabrics or loose cables, the vacuum doesn't recognize them as things to avoid or things to be careful of. We had a thin skirt around the bottom of our Christmas tree, and when the G50 went into it, it picked the skirt up and pulled it off. And that could have been close to pulling the tree down. It was easy enough to untangle, but the vacuum didn't alert us or stop. It just carried on, and that's definitely something to keep in mind when you're clearing the floor. And I wasn't especially positive about it going under the table and negotiating all the chair legs, but it actually did a good job without me needing to rescue it once, and that surprised me. The standout moment for me was the sideboard. This managed to fit underneath it, and that's an area that we never clean, and this went underneath, did the cleaning, and then came back out again. And that alone made me think, well, this is going to be cleaning areas that we wouldn't usually bother with. The second run with the G50 vacuum was a lot better, and I was a lot fairer in how I prepped the room, so I gave it a really good shot at doing the best job it could. And this time I put all the chairs on the table, put the reclining chairs up, and moved anything obvious out of the way. And even though the room was still a little bit congested because it was Christmas, this did make a big difference. It moved around the room in a much more confident way, had fewer things to bump into, and it just seemed to do a better overall job. You do spend a lot of time watching this thing getting on and doing its job when you first get it. and it kind of defeats the object because you could just be getting on and doing the vacuuming yourself. But it is oddly compelling and entertaining to watch, so no doubt if you get one, you'll be doing the same thing. When you're watching it, you're trying to get your head around the logic that it's using, and sometimes you think, oh, okay, it makes sense, it's doing this, it's going up and down and covering that area, and then all of a sudden it does something random. But regardless of which setting that you've got it set to, it does somehow manage to get around the whole room. Once it was back on the charging station, I took the dust tray out, and this genuinely surprised me. The dustbin is a good size and easy to remove, and when I opened it up, I couldn't believe how much dust, hair and general dirt had collected from that one run. I honestly wasn't expecting that, especially considering how small and compact the brush looks. And on that first run, it only used about 25% of the battery, which is much better than I expected. There's also a roller detangling feature in the app, and once it's docked, you can trigger it, and it makes quite a lot of noise for about a minute while it detangles any hair wrapped around the brush. And throughout the vacuuming, it also intermittently does a detangling process as well if there's a lot of hair wrapped up in the roller. If you've got animals when you're using this vacuum, they're definitely something to think about. The novelty did wear off quite quickly for our youngest dog. The vacuum doesn't detect pets as living things though, it just treats them like objects. It's got bumpers, so it's not going to hurt anything, but if a dog is in the way, it will just keep bumping into them until they move, or if they don't move, it will just work around them. So this is just something worth considering when you schedule in your vacuuming. I think it's fair to say after several cleaning sessions that rugs are the vacuum's weakness. Even though you can't see where it's been because you can see the track marks that it's left on the rug, it doesn't actually do a great job of cleaning all the debris off of the rug. So the overall result isn't that great. What is interesting though is that you can put the vacuum into manual mode and you can keep going over the rug several times and then actually do a really proper cleaning job of it, and it does clean up all of the bits and pieces that are on the rug. So it is capable of doing a good cleaning job of the rug. So this tells me that it isn't a power issue, it's a mapping issue and a behavior issue. It doesn't stay on the rug long enough to clean it properly. So it cleans a bit of it and you think, oh, it's doing a good job, and then all of a sudden it whizzes off and cleans something else. The best workaround that I found for this though is to pick the vacuum up and put it in the middle of the rug and then use the spot clean feature. And the spot clean feature just keeps going round and round in circles and does do a better job of the rug because it stays on the rug for longer. Upstairs on fully carpeted floors, it actually did quite a good job. In terms of power, I put it on the next level up from standard, so it wasn't full turbo, but it was strong enough that you could see it digging into the carpet. The weight of the robotic vacuum helps push the brush into the pile of the carpet, and it did a really good job of collecting hair. Again, sometimes it does look like it's moving in a logical pattern, but then other times it moves really randomly, and as a result it does tend to miss a few bits here and there. One thing I noticed is that you can clearly trace the wheel tracks, so you can see where the wheel tracks have been digging into the carpet. And this is a bit of a double-edged sword. It's good because you know where it's been and you know that it's digging in firm and doing a good job. But the flip side of that is that it doesn't aesthetically leave you with a very nice finish because you've got some random tracks and circle prints all over your carpet. So instead of neat tracked lines that you'd get with an ordinary vacuum cleaner, you've got this kind of scratchy random pattern. So it depends what you prioritize, because in terms of cleanliness it does a good job, but in terms of the aesthetic finish it's pretty poor in my opinion on carpet. And this will obviously vary dependent on how thick the pile of your carpet is. In the kitchen, other than the back doormat, it's mostly tiled, and in here the vacuum did a really good job. And I put it on maximum strength, which does have pros and cons. Obviously the pro is that it's got maximum suction, so it does the best cleaning job possible. The con, however, is that it uses more battery. So it took about 15 minutes to clean the entire kitchen, but that used up about 50% battery. Living with this and using it for a while, it becomes quite clear quite quickly that without mapping, you have to adapt how you use it, because it doesn't know the layout of your house, or the layout of the rooms, or what room it's in. And the easiest way around this is to treat this like a room by room vacuum process, rather than just putting it down and expecting it to vacuum the whole house. So I'll put it in the kitchen while I'm in the lounge watching telly, and then later maybe put it in the lounge while I'm eating dinner in the kitchen. I did try leaving all the doors open to see if it would clean the entire downstairs, but it didn't really work. Even with our big double doors open in the lounge, it tended just to stay where it started, and it didn't quite make its way through into the hallway area. So it can cross between rooms, it just doesn't do it reliably enough to trust it to clean the whole house in one go. From a noise perspective, there are a few different levels depending on the mode that you use. There is a quiet mode, but it's not quiet enough in that you wouldn't sit there and watch telly with it running in the background. It's not quiet and it's not loud, but it produces the level of noise that you'd expect from something this size doing that amount of work. And really, this is designed for the vacuum to get on with things while you're not there and you're doing something else anyway. Setting it up with Alexa is really easy, and once it's linked, you can use voice commands or routines to start cleaning or send it back to charge. And this isn't essential, but it is convenient and it works reliably. But one thing to consider is because you haven't got room mapping, you can only tell Alexa to start vacuuming. You can't send it to a particular area of the house. So there's no floor plan or map of the house, it just works within the area that it's put in. So this isn't a fault with this unit, it's just the drawback of a cheaper unit and the way that this model is designed. And the workarounds are simple. You just put this in a room, shut the doors, and let it get on with the cleaning process. And if you've got a particular spot you want clean, then you can use the spot cleaning feature. One of Eufy's marketing images showed the vacuum cleaner surrounded by M&Ms, and I wanted to put this to the test. I didn't have M&Ms, but I did have some Skittles sweets, which are very similar size, with some being a lot bigger. On smooth tiled floor, it did push them around, but it still picked up around 80% of them. And on carpet, it was much better and picked up around 95% very quickly. I think overall this was a positive result. Of course, it doesn't defy physics on a smooth, hard floor, but it does hold up to their marketing claim of being able to pick up those larger bits of debris like big sweets. I use this summer house quite regularly, and one issue up here is that I'm constantly dragging in leaves, especially through the autumn and winter months. And dragging up a full-size vacuum cleaner to the top of the garden week in, week out is not something I do, and it's just a bit of a pain. So I wanted to see how well the G50 could handle the leaf situation up here on a carpeted floor. This flooring is carpet tiles, so the pile is really thin, and it was clear straight away that the leaves just aren't an issue at all. I left the vacuum cleaning for around 37 minutes, which is when it decided that it'd finished the summer house. And when I went back in, I was genuinely surprised. It looked clean, and it clearly had picked up the leaves without any trouble. And once again, the amount of dirt and the amount of leaves and dust that had been collected in the bin tray really surprised me. And for something this small, it collects a lot, and there were plenty of leaves in there. The only place it struggled slightly with was under the mini trampoline. It went under there once, but it did miss a couple of leaves. But I think without that obstruction, it would have done a more logical back and forth clean. The only issue up here is that there's no Wi-Fi, so you can't tell Alexa to start the cleaning process, but all you do is you just pick it up manually, you press the on button, and it starts cleaning. And again, with the battery issue up here, I'd accidentally left it on turbo, which was fine because it was only doing one room, but I could have probably got away with standard. But on turbo, after 37 minutes, it had used up 75% of the battery. After all the cleaning I've done, the most important thing to understand about the G50 is this. If you're expecting to completely replace your standard vacuum cleaner and expect the same precision and the same depth of clean as what you do normally when you do it yourself, then this isn't for you and it won't replace it. It doesn't get into the corners, it doesn't leave a perfect tracked finish on carpets, and it does occasionally miss bits in the room, and it's not the best on rugs. And it also doesn't reliably find its way back to the charging base. It will say returning to charge base and ends up spinning around or just taking ages to find out exactly where it is. So in practice, when it's finished cleaning, you end up just picking this up and manually putting it back on the charger. But what has impressed me with this is actually the level of cleaning that this does, considering how much this is a hands-off experience. If you're someone that doesn't enjoy vacuuming or doesn't vacuum regularly, then this will make a noticeable difference to your lifestyle. You set this going and then you come back into the room half an hour later and the room is visibly cleaner and clearer. And for me, this might end up just permanently living in our summer house, which is a room that I rarely clean, maybe once or twice a year. So this isn't a straight yes or no. It very much depends on your expectations and on how you intend to use it. I've got a much more powerful higher end version of this vacuum which I'll be testing in another video, which will be here when it's ready. Let me know in the comments if what you've seen in this video would be the right level of cleaning for you. My name's Rich, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.